I didn't realize Aunt Bibi is in worse shape than Scott Creighton in regards to her face. This is from February 7th, 2020. You can tell that she's looking at herself. Always take note of where these people are, and then it becomes obvious when they're staring at themselves. It looks like Aunt Bibi became aware of her situation about half a year ago. It appears that Aunt Bibi is now afraid to go on video. She's not making as many appearances. She's not making herself visible like she was in this one. So pay close attention to herself, looking at herself while recording. It's fascinating. I doubt she worked for the NSA ever. She's got weird stuff going on with her face, implying drugs, implying a felony, implying she's a confidential informant.
And one was with a guy named John Rachel, who had this idea of the peace dividend. And actually, John Rachel contacted me after I was criticizing him, and I had contacted Jeff about John Rachel, and I didn't know that Jeff J. Brown and John Rachel were friends at the time. So that was a wake up call. Yeah, so I have some information that John Rachel gave me directly, but John Rachel is important in the contact weapon. But the coincidences are kind of funny, so that's why I think the coincidence is kind of strange, and it doesn't have to be a deadly disease because they're treating it as though we're a deadly disease. So who knows? I don't know. Whether they introduced this virus into China, I don't know, but they're certainly taking advantage of it, and now calling it the China virus. I think in some media circles they're calling it the China virus. But anyway, Jeff, I think that this death of the whistleblower, the hero, is part of that psyop construction that Gene Sharp came up with. Anyway, the what else? So I was suspicious, but Scott picked up on more about the story, and good for him. So he did that video, and I will provide the link in the show notes if you haven't seen it. I'm not going to go through all that, but he was showing a lot of things. There was a document he showed, and he realized after he'd done the video um, that it. He realized that when he uploaded the video, but it's a hassle doing these videos. I know how it is. If you say something and then you upload and you're like, oh, why did I say that? That's just the way it is. Anyway, so apparently, uh, so anyway, the Chinese authorities are actually uh, going to conduct an investigation into this whole story about this doctor who died. And it's not that they think necessarily that local authorities did something wrong, although they may have. They're going to investigate those story, but I think this news story kind of indicates that they're not sure about this whole story, and here's why. Um, there's his name is all over mainstream media, so you're going to see. I know Li Wenliang's name all over the place. Here's a name you're not going to hear about. So this woman received. She is also a doctor in Wuhan, but unlike this guy, Li Wenyang, who's an ophthalmologist, an eye specialist, this doctor, and her name is Zhang Jixian, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but Dr. Zhang Jixian, she is a specialist in respiratory diseases and critical care. So she's a specialist, and she got a lot of experience back during the SARS outbreak in 2003. So that's how she knew, she saw the first indications of a respiratory disease that she hadn't seen before. And so she gave the first warning about it. And she did this before Dr. Lee supposedly did, the whistleblower.